thought I'd just do a little vent this morning. Running into some really interesting information. One of them that was really, really cool is one on Ron Paul. And I kind of want to make the connection that Alex Jones supports Ron Paul, and Ron Paul thinks 9/11 was not orchestrated by government. He doesn't even think it was an inside job. So, isn't there a conflict there? How come Alex Jones is supporting somebody that doesn't believe 9/11 was an inside job? How come Ron Paul can't see that those buildings falling free fall is kind of a miracle that happened just by planes? How come there's a lot of unanswered questions? How come government doesn't want to do any investigation? There's so many questions about this 9/11, and you can find the guilty parties by their opinions about it. As soon as they have an opinion of, we're not going to talk about it, or they use the word conspiracy, they're guilty. Why would anybody use the word conspiracy when you're talking about something that's truthful? It makes no logic sense. It's like, okay, as soon as you recognize there's a problem in your world, then if you talk about that problem, you're a conspiracy nut. Yet we can see planes, chemtrails that I live in Kelowna. This is like a desert. It's supposed to be really, really friggin' hot. And yet I'm in a turtleneck. It's friggin' cold here right now. So why is it so cold? Why are we having such really, really bad weather? And why are these planes flying, dispersing chemicals over us, and yet nobody has the answers? Like, nobody tells you, what is it? Why does government hide secrets like this? Is it a conspiracy? Or is there some unanswered questions that, people that use the word conspiracy are criminals? You just gotta call a spade a spade. And as soon as we globally agree, anybody using the word conspiracy theory when confronted with a question about a recognized problem is actually the criminal who's profiting off of the problem. So Ron Paul is profiting off of 9/11, one way or another. And for him to even deny it means he's tied directly into that lie. And he doesn't want you to know that lie. Why? What's the big cover up? Because they're all freaking profiting from it. Um, which leads me to talk about a few other things that I've been sort of sidetracked with, which is Eckhart Tolle. I do get junk mail, and I ended up getting a link from Eckhart Tolle, and I've seen a video on Eckhart Tolle from one of my subscribers. So it's like, okay, why is this crossing my path? Because that guy is so full of bullshit. And um, I don't know. It's like when you get to a stage where you know the truth about everything, about the first lie, it's so easy to see contradictions. And I got my own contradiction. I'm working through my contradictions, and it's like, to see your own means you can see everybody else's. And I'm still a work in progress. So it's not right for me to insult everybody and say everybody else is wrong when I am also included in that. As long as I'm smoking, I've got issues. And um, part of that issue is if I go around telling people you're kind of wrong there, that belief isn't exactly true, then a lot of hate comes back at me. And that hate, while being hypersensitive, is torture. It's extreme pain, and it will cause physical pain. And I know Like, it's like, what would you do if you found the answers to everything? First of all, the reaction is, wow, you've got an ego, or um, egotistical is what I get called, or I get a lot of name calling for that. And it's like, okay, how many people want to know the answers to everything? And if you're asking for the answers to everything, is it impossible to ever get it? Um, we live in a world of possibilities. So, how is it that if you're looking for the answers to everything, that when it finally shows up, you're going to reject it? It makes no sense to me whatsoever. And it's like everything you knew to be true is false. If you want to know the answers to everything, you got to kind of look at your world as falling apart, which means a lot of us are kind of wrong in what we believe to be true. Our beliefs drives our actions. So it only makes sense that the truth would mean somebody is a little wrong. Somebody's believing a little bit of a lie there. So to say, oh, here's the truth to everything, you'll reject it. It's like, what would you do? That's a question I would really like. What would you do if you found the answers to everything? How do you think your world would respond if you knew the answers to everything and that meant everybody on the planet was dead wrong about everything? Talk about karma. Like, as soon as I put it out there, hate will come back at you. I'd make the perfect show. Because I would get so many high ratings just because I'd be insulting everybody that they'd be talking about how much I'm insulting everybody. So, um, and I'm not saying that I have the answers to everything. I just have the answers to the next evolution that we're supposed to make. It may be two jumps. I may be seeing two jumps of where we're supposed to go. After that, I know damn well that, to know everything means things are, patterns within patterns within patterns. And if human life is about evolving, we will constantly be evolving. It's a never-ending game. So to say you're going to get to one stage and stop is kind of insanity. It's almost like we go back and forth from experiencing heaven and hell. We're creators. We create our experience. Um, to get to heaven is not by death, but your Bibles will convince you to die, and the only reason you're dying is from your sinning, which religion all says all you have to do is say, sorry, Jesus, and I believe in you. And then you can sin and kill yourself and get away with it. Yet somebody that doesn't say those words and doesn't believe in Jesus, but has the exact same actions, apparently won't get saved. Um, it makes no logic sense, especially when the human body is designed to live forever. So while we are dying, we are actually experiencing hell on earth. If we lived forever, then we'd be experiencing heaven on earth. So it's like if you seen or heard of the story Adam and Eve. They were all in this Garden of Eden, and then they were tempted by an apple and changed everything. So it's almost like, okay, we once were in heaven. Our human experience was enjoying heaven, but heaven wasn't enough. So they wanted to learn more. So they created hell so that they can experience heaven, if it makes any sense. It's it's almost like we're constantly improving the concept of what heaven looks like. From me, I can kind of see why they ate that apple. They were freaking bored. When you want to create heaven, that's got to be one of the rules, is life cannot be boring. You've got to, heaven must be exciting. Not just sitting there like a lump, just being, because I'm sorry, but just being sounds a little boring to me. I'd eat that freaking apple just to get a little bit of excitement. But that excitement will lead to hell. So we have to evolve what the concept of heaven actually looks like, because the last time we created heaven wasn't so good. Um, so we're going to go into the stage of knowing truth, um, shifting from creating hell to creating heaven, and then we're going to spend thousands and thousands of years enjoying heaven until we find the flaws within heaven, and then we're going to experience hell again so that we can improve on that last current version of heaven. It's a wild, wild game, but um, I think we're about to make this massive, massive leap. I'm hoping that we can. Well, it's kind of inevitable. I hate to see people dying, but it appears like you gotta accept the fact that people are gonna die before we're gonna know the truth. It doesn't have to be, and it breaks my heart to see how many people need to die through the learning of truth, but they will be reincarnated back into this experience. It is only through their deaths that we will recognize what truth is. It's like you won't know anything's wrong until it hits your backyard. Um, the only ones that are going to be able to survive it will be people that actually understand what truth is. Most people, like these leaders, these elites, they're going to be wiped out. This is the end of their existence. There will never, ever, ever be a continuation of their little game anymore. Um, Once we make this evolutionary jump, which might be the cost of most of human life, because next time we're going to know better. We're going to know not to, some of the rules that we need to change that we will never ever follow again will be um, sacrificing the few for what is it saying, the greater good. Always act in the greater good, which means you can kill other people as long as all of humanity is saved. And it's like you kill one person, you're killing all of humanity. So the greater good means it's good for everybody on the planet, where our current concept of the greater good is only the selected few. So eventually we'll start waking up to that one, and we won't ever repeat that pattern again. We'll never repeat the concept of following a leader, because we will be our own leaders. So it's going to be an interesting jump. Um, I know I've got to work on my own issues and have a lot more faith in that. I guess the pain of knowing a lot of people are going to die is causing me to smoke, because I don't want to see anybody die. And at the end, I'm killing myself. It's like, okay, if you're gonna die, I'm gonna die with you, even though I know I'm perpetuating the game. That's how evil is perpetuated. So that's another jump we're gonna make, is making sure that nobody dies, which means you're gonna make sure everybody has enough food, that you aren't going to be so concerned with just having food for yourself, but you're going to make sure everybody on the planet has food, because you're going to see the karma come back at you. And it'll get you in the end. And it may not get you, but it'll get your grandchildren, great grandchildren, all the way down your family tree will suffer. So you may be the beneficiary in one generation, but in the next generation they will pay the price, sins of the father. So um, if we do have this concept and learn how to live an eternal life, then you don't even have to worry about what your kid's future is, because you're going to have to worry about your own future. And once you get tied to your reality and not think, oh, my kids will pay the price, no, you will pay the price. And so you'll see your actions and the cause of your actions a lot better. So you'll behave so much better when you know it will affect you directly and not just your children. Really, really pains me to see a parent not concerned about their own children's lives. I can't comprehend that. The only reason I'm doing what I'm doing is because of my kids' lives. The world needs to change because I brought 4 kids into the world and I don't want them living in this world. It needs to change. Anyways, there's my vent. Peace out.